Hi, this is the wave analysis strategy that makes gold trading simple and profitable. All right, guys, so in this video, we're going to have a deep dive into how to trade gold for a living. This is the best thing that can happen to you as a trader, and also it will serve as our weekly focus for gold and how to position yourself for gold. All right, so if you have been following us for now and you know that we are only focusing on trading gold using wave analysis. Okay, so before I will do a deep dive into the market and to explain to you guys what we are actually expecting for this week, it's important for you to understand, especially those that are following us, watching this video for the first time, what concept of wave analysis are we actually talking about. So this concept establishes that that every market, irrespective of the time frame, irrespective of the instruments, we always start with an impulse. Okay, let me illustrate it here as an impulse, and after this impulse is established, we have a corrective move. Then this corrective move can be 3-wave mostly, or 5 waves, at case might be whereby it might be complex. And after this corrective move, the market makes another impulse. Okay, so this summarizes this wave concept, and for this to happen and for the market to continue pushing high, the volume should be supporting this impulse and this impulse. Okay, the volume means the power that is pushing the market. And how do we measure the volume? We measure the volume using, you can use RSI to measure the volume, or the MACD to measure the volumes. Okay, so once there is no divergence between these two waves here, so it supports that this trend is healthy and the market will keep pushing high and all that. So this is the concept of wave analysis that we trade in a summary. So we're going to use this concept now to analyze gold, and I'm going to show you how you can position yourself for profit in every market. All right, so having said that, so the first thing that we said and we do is for you to know that every market must start with an impulse. Okay, so let's have a quick top-down analysis on gold using, like, from let's take our bearing from daily time frame. All right, so having a daily time frame here, so the first thing is to identify your impulse. Now, having seen that the markets have rallied from here to here, the market has gone far from here to here. So what is our what is the trend here? So if the market has actually given you like a lot of trend, a lot of impulses, where do you start from? This is the first confusion that most traders face. You don't know where to start drawing your trend line from. But thank you for watching this video, because I'm going to simplify it here. So the first thing you need to do, especially when you have had so many impulses moving in the same direction of the trend, is to use the last two impulses. All right, to last two impulses. So what is our last two impulses here? We have this, we have this, we have this. All right, so as a beginner, we can choose that to be, but once you learn this strategy properly and you're able to identify the corrective pattern, for me, I would say this is the first impulse, this is the first impulse, this is the corrective wave, and this is our last impulse. So we can choose this and this. So let's put a permanent trend at that point. So we have this drawn. So these are our last two impulses, as one daily chart on gold indicates. So here we can see that the market has not broken this trend. So that tells you that the daily time frame on gold is very, very bullish, that the market is still what? Trending. All right, so you come to 4 hours to ascertain the facts, to see what actually is going on. So when you come to 4 hours, you can see we have another counter trend that is forming. Okay, so what can you see here, guys? Now, having ascertained that this market has not broken this trend on daily, and also it hasn't broken this high, so this still remains the top of the market, and the market is just going in between. But here we can see another trend, which is kind of a bearish, a downtrend, but corrective nature, because it's still correcting between these last impulses on the daily time frame, which is very, very important. Okay, so we are going to base our analysis based on this happening here. All right, so see what the market finishes, what it's going to do here. That will tell us whether the market is going to break down or it's going to break up. So how do we do that? First, we can identify clear that the market started with an impulse here, it makes a corrective structure here, and it drops again by breaking this low. So there is a valid trend on the 4 hours time frame. So having established that, you can now put your permanent trend. Follow me carefully, guys, because this is the concept of wave analysis. This is how to become the market maker, understanding the mass psychology of all market participants. All right, so having established this trend, we are left with two choices now to have in the back of our mind. Okay, maybe the market, we haven't, once it's completed this, we start pushing high from here to break this high, or it comes up again to drop. For us to read that accurately, let's go down to lower time frame. So we move down to 1 hour time frame. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, guys, we'll start seeing a lot of impulses downwards. All right, so I'll also show you some of the trade we took last week and why we took this trade. So remember the same rule, the last two impulses. So looking at this market here, guys, what is the last two impulses that you can see here? What's the last two impulses you can see on this time frame? All right, so the last two impulses you can see on this time frame is, so we have the last two impulses from here to here. All right, and now the market has broken that last two impulses. So now, I haven't mentioned this before, but you get to know this. Now, this will be the best video you ever watched, on trading market, trading gold using wave analysis. Anytime, and I repeat, anytime the market breaks that last two impulses, it breaks the trend of that last two impulses, like what happens here. So it's an indication that starting from the beginning of that trend to this point is now a mono wave. So that means this move is over, guys. Irrespective of what the market is going to do here, this move is now over. So what we'll be expecting is for the market to continue pushing high from here and also create its own wave as market gives us more data. So with this understanding, we have one thing in common now, that this trend, this downtrend, okay, that's the completion of that last wave in 4 hours is ended. Okay, so now we are starting the new phase, and the market has actually given us the first impulses in that new direction. Have this in back of your mind, guys, because this will revolutionize your trading forever. All right, so remember, this is 1 hour. So now, before the market closes on Friday, we have had these first impulses that breaks this trend. So what are we going to do here? This is 1 hour, so we need to go down again to like 15 minutes. Let's go down to 15 minutes, guys. So on the 15 minutes time frame, what then do you see? Remember, every market moves in waves, and these waves form waves within wave, within waves, within waves, within waves. All right, and this is what we call the fractal nature of the market. So here we have these impulses standing here. Look at this first impulse is still standing tall on this 15 minutes time frame, and after which, remember, after the first impulse, what do you watch out for? 3 or 5 move corrective structure. So we have the first impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. So actually, this is a complete structure on its own. It's a complete structure, and this structure completes. This is a complete corrective structure, and this structure corrects this first impulse. All right, so this structure corrects this first impulse. Then what should be expected for the market to keep pushing high on this? So without any doubt, guys, I can tell you categorically for free that gold market will keep pushing high until at least it breaks this high. So when you come up tomorrow being Monday, or what are you going to be expecting? Is for you to wait for a pullback here and for you to take your buy at least to this point. Okay, that is to this point. So the only caveat there would be, okay, you'll be following this trend again. If the market closes below this counter trend here, and this will be on the 5 minutes. Okay, let's go down to 5 minutes. Let's establish the trend on the 15 minutes again. So on the 15 minutes here, we have our own trend here, which is a downtrend. There's a downtrend here, guys. And this downtrend, remember, it has been broken again, indicating that this move is over. Okay, so but now we want to we don't want to overreact. We just want to follow the market as it gives us more data, because this is what makes us wave traders. We follow the masses, we follow the hedge fund, we follow the banks. And it's because if there's something you should learn here for free, where the direction of every move is determined is on the corrective phase. And that's why every market spend more than 80% correcting, 20% trending, 80% correcting, 20% trending, 80% correcting, 20% trending, 80% correcting, 20% trending. So for you to catch this move, okay, for your information, let me show you also this. This is on the 15 minutes time frame, guys. We actually traded this, we traded this, we saw this, we traded this, we saw this, we traded this. So we are catching on this massive trend because we're able to identify those corrective pullbacks, okay, that the market has given us, because we know that all this move here were a corrective phase, which is a regular flat. Okay, so some of our students that have registered with us to learn these concepts knows that once you see a regular flat at the first, after I finish impulse, is kind of 99.9% chances that the market is going to, descend again. All right. So this is concept of this powerful wave analysis. So let's not digress. Let's follow this suit until we go to 5 minutes time frame. So remember on the now, I have seen, let me point out this error that most traders are making. You will see some persons like this. Remember, some trader will draw a trend like this. They will draw a trend like this. Now, this trend line here is wrong. It's wrong because this first impulse has not broken himself. So the market here is not trending. The market here is not trending. So the only trend we can recognize here is this, because we have an impulse, we have a correction, we have an impulse that breaks the previous impulse low. Okay, so the only valid trend we have here is this, and that's why we're drawing this. So let's go down to 5 minutes now for you to see what the market hold. So on the 5 minutes time frame, which is this, then what can we see? Now the market has broken this, and for your information, on Friday I was scalping, we traded this to this point and we hopped out. Okay, so our value trend on 5 minutes is this. Okay, so let's put a permanent trend there. Let's put a permanent trend. So this is it. We have drawn this 5 minutes time frame. All right, so now the only time you are permitted to take a sell is only when this market will break this time frame, 5 minutes, and consolidates below it. Any breakout is your trade downwards. Aside this, guys, pay very good attention. The market will keep bouncing off this 5 minutes to go up. And remember, from all the top-down analysis we've just done now, we have seen that there is a trend, there is an impulse that is standing on the 1 hour that got to be filled. And for it to be fulfilled, the market needs to break its high or its low. And from all indication, we've seen that they have the high probability that the market will break the high of that impulse, which we have seen to be here. So for the buyers we have for gold, starting from tomorrow, will be that the market will keep advancing in price. We keep pushing high. We're expecting gold to keep pushing high, guys. Pushing high, okay, until it comes to this 3,280 before we determine what next the market will do. Okay, so this is what we are anchoring based on what we have seen. So categorically, this is how we trade gold or any instrument using wave analysis. So simple, guys. So simple. Now, if you want to learn this kind of concepts, all you need to do is to kind of subscribe. First, subscribe to this channel, guys. Like this video, then contact us using the contact detail below, and I'll be glad to help you in this journey, so you stop reacting. You understand the mass psychology of market participants, and you're able to harness it to streamline to suit your own trading personality, so you'll be able to make money consistently. Thank you, and see you on the next video.